I suppose I've been rescuing dogs for about 20 years, but it's one of those things, once you've started doing it, it's so hard to ever stop. This is Jimmy. He's come from a hoarding situation and he's got a big problem with his hind legs.
Jimmy was found locked up in a small cage, covered in his own excrement. The 3-year-old border collie had been forced to spend his life in a crouched position, unable to stand up.
Today I'm driving out to Berkshire, which is to the west of London, and I'm going to visit a place called the Border Collie Spot. It's run by Jill, who I absolutely love and I honestly believe should be known as the patron saint of dogs. She always takes on dogs that no one else wants.
Curly, Curly! I suppose I've been rescuing dogs for about 20 years, but it's one of those things, once you've started doing it, it's so hard to ever stop, because I know if I stopped doing it, so many dogs would die. Good boy. How can I stop? I have rather a special case here that I'd like you to have a look at.
Okay.
Jill's about to introduce Scott to a victim of extreme long-term neglect.
Hello, buddy.
This is Jimmy. He's come from a hoarding situation and he's got a big problem with his hind legs.
Jimmy was found locked up in a small cage, covered in his own excrement. The 3-year-old border collie had been forced to spend his life in a crouched position, unable to stand up.
And how long do you think he was there for?
I think he was born there. I don't know, but I think he was. Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy. I've had the misfortune of seeing quite a number of cruelty cases in my career.
That's a good boy.
But Jimmy was off the scale when it came to just plain neglect. This dog was left in a cage pretty much to rot.
Come on, Jim. Good boy. Good boy.
I think what angers me the most when it comes to animal cruelty is that these are innocent creatures that haven't asked to be owned by these horrendous people. They haven't deserved what's happened to them, and it makes me want to defend them, and defend them I will.
Come on.
You know what he walks like? He walks like he's on hot coals, doesn't he? Like he's right up on his toes, like walking really, really gingerly.
Yeah.
The left leg is definitely weaker than the right. You can see he's actually lifting that one up. Poor guy.
I actually think I'm getting worse as I get older at coping with it, because emotionally it's draining. There's hardly a day goes by that I don't shed tears over these dogs.
All right then, let's pop you in the back of the car. We'll go and see Michael.
Scott has made an appointment for Jimmy with specialist orthopaedic surgeon Michael Hamilton.
I think Jill has already developed a really strong bond with Jimmy. She really has a soft spot for him, you can tell. And I know that it's really worrying for her.
Good boy.
He is going to need a lot of complex work, and she knows that.
See you soon, Jimmy.
So, of course, she's very nervous about me taking him, but I know she trusts my judgment, and I am really taking him to the best place possible.
Hello, mate.
Hey, Scott. How's things, all right?
Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Very good.
You too.
So let me show you a very special patient. This is Jimmy. He was rescued from a place where he was basically kept in a crate his entire life.
Oh, no way.
And when they found him, he was absolutely covered in his own fecal matter to the point where they had to shear him like a sheep. And now he's got this very strange curved sort of spine, and his knees feel terrible.
2 big swollen knees. Do they move much? Oh dear.
I know Michael very well. When he's looking at Jimmy, I can see that he is pretty shocked.
Crikey, this knee is just something else, isn't it? God, you can just feel it grating. That is not very nice at all. As you move those knees around, it's bone on bone, and it grates and it crunches, and it's just horrible. Oh, no, man.
You won't be impressed. Just see, he's real tucked up, isn't he?
Carrying that back left, isn't he? He's been very brave, isn't he? Both those knees, particularly the left side, they're toast. There's nothing you can do. There's going to be no cartilage in those knees. They don't move very much. They've got to be painful. Okay, so we'll just have to step outside, get x-rays.
The extent of the problem becomes even clearer on the x-rays.
Straight away, that does not look very nice at all.
It's terrible.
Sclerosis here, effusion here. So that is horrible. They would make it onto the rostrum of the worst knees ever, yes. Knee replacement would be the best option. If it goes well, that's the best option for the dog, no question. The other option, which we can do if a knee replacement didn't go right, the other salvage option is to just fuse it, get the dog out of discomfort.
Good boy.
He's just the nicest dog, isn't he? And he's had a hell of a time by the sound of things. We can certainly help him out, and fusion, knee replacement, they're the options.
Michael, great to see you as always.
No worries,
Thanks so
mate.
much for your
No
help
worries.
and advice.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
of
will
course.
pass all that on to Jill,
Yeah,
and
of course.
I'm sure she'll be in touch very soon.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers. See ya.
He's saying, hello, Jimmy, welcome. You're such a good boy. Yes, is this fun?
For the first time in a life of neglect and cruelty, the 3-year-old Border Collie is finally surrounded by love.
It must seem to him very strange, the fact that people are being kind to him. I think he's becoming happier every day. Jimmy's temperament is wonderful. He has never, ever growled or snapped, which is amazing. Good boy. Maybe he knows we're going to help him, I don't know, but he's a wonderful little dog.
Hi,
Oh,
Jill.
hi, Scott.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Aw.
Good to see you.
Yeah, come in, I've got you a cup of
Oh,
tea.
lovely. Thank you.
Later that day, Scott arrives to take Jimmy for his major surgery. But first, he wants to reassure Jill.
Someone looks comfortable.
Yeah, I think he's made himself at home, don't
He
you?
really does. Who has got his paws under the table, hey? You have. Unbelievable. Well, I think the procedure that Michael and you have decided to move forward with is a great one because it has far less complications.
Yeah.
So as much as it would have been wonderful to turn him into the bionic dog, what we need to do is turn him into a comfortable dog.
Yeah.
And this procedure is going to do that
Yeah.
without breaking the bank and breaking you, and meaning
Yeah.
you can keep going on with your great work.
Yeah. And really, at the end of the day, all we want is for him to be pain-free. I think it's the right decision. Yeah. I have to be determined for my dogs because I'm the only one they've got.
Oh, you big pudding, hey? Say goodbye to Jill.
Oh.
Say goodbye.
Hi,
Hey?
Jimmy.
Say
Good
bye.
boy. Their life is in my hands, really. It is, but I wish I could do more. I do. You've got your chair back, Violet. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Right, Jimmy?
The big day has arrived.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Mates.
So, plan is we're going to fuse his knee. The whole point is it's not going to be sore once we're done. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it gives some stability, takes away the pain.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to be a happier dog.
At the Cherry Tree Veterinary Practice, specialist orthopaedic surgeon Michael Hamilton has started Jimmy's life-changing operation.
It looks horrible.
It's really bizarre.
Crikey, this is a very chronically inflamed knee.
He and Scott are immediately horrified by what they find.
I'd say of all the surgeries we've done together, mate, this is by far the most gruesome.
That's horrible, isn't it? Look at that.
Jimmy's knee looked like a bomb had gone off in it. It was horrendous. It was the worst knee I've ever seen. There was virtually nothing normal about it.
First, Michael will trim the ends off Jimmy's bones. Then he'll fuse them together and fix them in place with a metal plate.
When we actually made our cuts in the bone to kind of get flat surface on flat surface, those flat surfaces looked actually quite healthy. That looks pretty darn good to me. That's as straight as his leg's gonna go. And then what we do is we put our big plate from up here right the way down over the top down to here, and then we're done.
The plate goes on without a hitch, but Michael is not satisfied.
I was just a little bit unhappy with a single plate.
To keep it in that slightly flexed position and to support that fusion of the knee, Michael then decides that he's going to actually place a second plate over the central part.
There's a couple of here that's just a little bit awkward, but once I get them in, I think we'll be good.
But by doing so, we come up against a few problems.
Because I'm stacking these, they're not quite sitting perfectly on top of one another. As we are putting in the last screws on the second plate, I can't quite get them in because it's not perfectly aligned.
Michael's just throwing everything at it to try and get the best result.
Oh, I wasn't overjoyed about that.
Michael wasn't happy, and it meant for a very long procedure.
Sorry, guys, that's kind of changed my mind a little bit. Whether it's active or not, I mean, I think this dog has probably had an infection in this knee. I mean, look at that.
A long-time mate of this dedicated specialist, Scott knows Michael will never settle for second best.
Michael's a perfectionist, so he's not happy with just one plate. He needs this reinforcement plate.
Sorry, guys, just a bit of a hitch in the home straight.
Michael fought and fought, but it just wasn't going on. So to then, after all that work and all those hours of surgery, to remove that second plate, that was fraught. It didn't go down very well. You want to get it absolutely right.
Yeah.
Even if it does drive you a little bit crazy.
Yes. So we took off the second plate, put the first one on really, really nicely, and put another little plate down the side. That was the right thing to do, and it should go nowhere. So I'm really happy with it. The thing that I'm very proud of is that I didn't just go, oh, it'll do, because it'll do sometimes doesn't do. That's not what I'm about. We want it to work. Perfectionist, possibly, yeah. Overkill, possibly, but I'll sleep a bit easier tonight, and hopefully Jimmy will as well.
So finally, even Michael is happy with his work. But the operation has run 2 hours over time, and the surgeon is running late for an important meeting.
My wife is going to kill me.
Yeah.
Good boy.
But no one's going anywhere until X-rays confirm the surgery has been a success.
So that's a straight-on view of his ankle, that's a straight-on view of a hip joint, and that's a straight-on view of a knee. So I mean, that's a perfectly straight leg. It looks great. Really pleased with that.
Just call Jill soon, hey? Call Mummy. Tell her everything's gone well. A very long surgery, but that knee has been fused within an inch of its life, hasn't it? Yes, it has. This is the start of a good new life for you, eh? Yeah.
Well, I think this is one contented pooch. What do you think?
Isn't it just? Yeah, amazing.
Scott has dropped in on Jill to check on Jimmy's progress.
He's so much happier in himself. It's just incredible that we've been able to do this for him.
Come on, let's see how you're going. Good boy.
The surgery is a success. Yes, it's a salvage procedure. He has a knee that's now fused, but the pain is gone. And that was the whole point of this, to give him a nice pain-free life and allow him to enjoy himself for the first time in his life.
What's his future hold?
Well, we have a wonderful home lined up for him. She's a wonderful person. She's very patient and caring and...
Everything Jimmy deserves.
Yeah.
He's going to be adored for the rest of his life, and I know that's absolutely what he deserves.
It's been such a great journey, and a great journey with you as well.
Yeah.
Until the next time we've got another sad case we have to fix, eh? And then the dream team will be back together again.
Yeah,
eh?
I hope so.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To that. Cheers. Cheers, Jimmy.
You know, one of the great things about being in a place like Cairns is the Bush Telegraph, and let me just say, it is alive and well. So now I'm getting involved in what sounds like a pretty serious local epidemic. How you going?
Hi, Chris. How are you?
It's Jenny, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I
I
knew
shake
you-
your hand, but I've got my hands full at the moment.
I can see that.
It's great that you're here because we really can do with some extra help.
When everyone imagines the Great Barrier Reef up here, they think of this really fertile area that's full of coral and surely full of food. But for turtles, after Cyclone Yasi came through, All that seagrass that turtles normally eat got covered in silt. It's died off, and for turtles, there's no food anymore.
Survival for these turtles depends on rehabilitation centres like this one, which is funded entirely by donations.
It's really sad to see it because they're such an incredible animal. I mean, these animals have survived millions of years, and now with what's happening, they're starving and they're dying in huge numbers.
Do we know where this one's coming from?
This one's coming down from Port Douglas.
Yep. Jenny and the team here are already at full capacity, but it's a measure of how significant the problem is. They've got another turtle coming in right now. It just never seems to end. Oh, slappy, are you? Huh? A bit feisty.
She's feisty.
She's actually got a tag.
She has. I'll just check the number.
So K47.
Chris took her out and went, oh no, this is Nellie. What are you doing back in here?
They little papillomas. They look like little warts almost. What we do know about these fibropapillomas is that they're caused by stress. If they're out there and there's not enough food and they start to starve, the immune system crashes and these lumps just take over their body. If she's got these on the outside, then there is going to be a risk that she actually has them internally as well, isn't there?
Yes, and that's the problem. If they have them internally, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do for them.
The only way of knowing whether Nellie has any of these fibropapillomas inside of her is with a CT scan. Now, not many vet clinics around here have them, but thankfully, there's an imaging centre, a human one, that might just fit Nellie in. Go on, go. You're coming with me.
Chris is now transporting Nellie to the Cairns Diagnostic Imaging Centre. The CT scan is being donated free of charge.
It's a big moment, isn't it? All right, no fingers crossed in there. Or flippers crossed. When we take this image of Nellie, if we find fibropapillomas inside of her, then the sad fact is she doesn't have a future. What we're looking for here are any little lumps on any of those intestines or any of the other internal organs like the liver. If we see lumps, it's a very bad sign. Now, the liver looks good, intestinal walls are nice and smooth, spleen up here is great. It looks pretty good.
So you're happy?
It looks like it should.
That's great.
Just like the textbooks.
It's good news for Nellie.
Yeah. Really the only issue with Nellie right now are these external lumps, and the great thing about those is we can cut those off.
The operation will be performed at the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital. It will be a delicate procedure.
You right, Nellie? We'll just check your breathing. You're going okay. Good girl.
This is local anaesthetic, so we'll inject this underneath the lumps.
Papillomaviruses, they actually grow big, and what happens is their joints become immovable. So it really is a very important operation that's been done today.
Chris is using an electronic current to burn off the tumours. The electrocauterisation helps minimise any bleeding.
Key here is just to be a little bit speedy, but be precise, because the first sign of distress, it's over.
All right, now, last one, that's it.
Well done, girl. Pretty happy with that, Jen. You've got a pretty good range of movement now, and meant to have 20 off. That's going to make a pretty big difference.
It will make a huge difference to her, actually. That's great. Good girl. And you think this is a wild animal, and she's come in, she's been operated on, she's just done really, really well.
I know. You're a lot less lumpy. Huh? Look at that. You reckon? Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to let you go home with Jen now. I heard you're renowned for liking squid.
Nellie, the green turtle that was found starving to death on a beach, is recovering from the surgery to remove her tumours.
You like it, huh? Well, we've got a bit more. We just can't get enough, and that's a really great sign. There's no doubt that these turtles have the odds stacked right against them, but thankfully rescue centres like this do exist. You just have to believe that you can make a difference, and Nellie should be the perfect example of that, in the way that she came in such a bad way. But hopefully in a few months' time, she does get released back to the wild, and that should be where she stays.
Oh, listen to that heart. It's beating so hard. Yes, it is.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Denise from the rescue group Paws has brought in a 1-year-old orphan called Olivia.
Her heart, it's just pounding. It's pounding. If the room was silent, I believe you'd probably hear it. That's how loud it is. I think this little girl's in serious trouble. She could not be rehomed because, you know, she's got this problem. The pound cannot sell her. So death for her, that's it.
Hey, beautiful girl, shall we have a listen to your heart? She's got a really loud murmur. It's okay, Bubby.
Emergency vet Lisa Chimes immediately takes Olivia for an ultrasound to confirm her diagnosis.
We grade these murmurs out of 6, and she's got a murmur that's a grade 6 out of 6, so that's the highest. It's just tragic. A heart murmur means that there's an abnormal blood flow in the heart, and if we don't treat it, that blood volume going in that abnormal direction is going to put an extra strain on her heart muscle, and she will go into heart failure, and she will not survive more than a few months, a year, probably max.
I don't want to imagine anything is going to happen to her, and I'll probably start crying about that, but she's alive and she's going to stay that way. Aren't you? Yes, you are.
The operation to fix this heart murmur will cost at least $3,000.
We ask for donations, and whatever isn't covered, I will cover myself.
Wow.
And you deserve to have some more time to live a normal life, don't you? Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa, how are you?
I'm good.
This is the big day.
Next day at SASH, Denise brings in Olivia for the procedure which will hopefully repair her heart.
Everything will be all right. You know, this poor dog has had no luck. It's time that her luck changed. And hopefully it will change now.
Okay.
Cardiologist Dr. Rita Singh will be performing the delicate procedure on Olivia's critical heart murmur. The condition is also known as a PDA, a patent ductus arteriosus.
There's a little bit of tension, nervous energy here today because this is a fairly new procedure at SASH. Traditionally, we've always fixed a PDA by cracking open their chest and tying off that blood vessel. But now we're going to try a newer technique where we don't even do surgery. We just feed like a plug up one of her vessels and plug it off from the inside. Fingers crossed it works.
I've got to do very carefully, so it's taking me a little bit of time.
If this new technique fails, surgeon Andrew Marchevsky is on standby to perform traditional open heart surgery.
The problem with her is she's a really little dog with a really big abnormal vessel. And because of that, we can only get quite a small plug up her artery into her heart. And the plug size that we can get up there may not be big enough to actually plug the hole. And if that's the case, then it's back to me.
Here we come. So it's coming now. So it pulled through. Yeah, it's too small for her. I'm just going to try once more, but I think this is going to be it's too small.
Rita has to be really careful here because if there's one wrong move, it could tear through her vessel and she could bleed out. So it's pretty risky, pretty fiddly, and there's a lot of pressure on here.
It takes way longer than I expect it's going to. Well, I'm going to try to push the plug in now, but as I said, I think it's not going to work.
Despite Rita's doubts, the plug is finally in place.
Yes. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed the next 24 hours now and we'll see.
I'm getting a little bit excited now.
Finally, I'm going to let you get excited.
Yay, Rita!
Just when the team is starting to celebrate,
Let's put you to bed.
suddenly Rita notices a change in Olivia.
I think it's moved.
Really?
I can hear a continuous murmur now.
Their joy has turned to devastation.
Poor dog.
We're just in complete shock here. I mean, everything was looking so good and Olivia was recovering, and then in a second she moved too much and the murmur's back. The device didn't work. It's really disappointing.
That's it. It has to be surgery now. I thought we were done and she was going to be fine.
So she's just over here, having a little rest. Hello. After the anaesthetic.
Later that afternoon, a shattered Denise is allowed in for a quick visit.
Can I pick her up?
Yeah, you can pick her up.
Very, very distressed. Really distressed. Yep. Didn't want to open her chest if we didn't have to. We took the easy option, but it didn't work. So now we go for the hard option. So you've got one more chance. One more chance, hey?
Hello, puppy.
No pressure today.
No.
None.
Last chance in, huh?
2 days later, Olivia is back at Sash for her second heart operation.
The buck stops with you?
Yep. This is the last chance for her. It's either going to work or she'll die, you know. This is a really big heart, and this is this abnormal vessel. So we're just going to dissect around this and tie it off, and then immediately everything will start going in the right direction. It doesn't take much dissection in slightly the wrong plane to dissect through the heart. If that happens, it's all over. It's delicate. The vessel that we're dissecting around is so thin-walled, and if I push it at all, I'll just push straight through the vessel, and then it's all over. All right, I'm just tying it off now. All right. Goosebump moment. Yeah. She's fixed. It's pretty exciting, huh?
I knew you could do it, hero Andrew.
Thanks, Lee.
You're amazing. You're my hero. As composed as Andrew was, you can even see it in his face. He has really breathed a sigh of relief that this is over.
Oh. She's going to take a few days to become good, but well, I think Olivia will find a home now because she should be just a normal, trouble-free dog.
Who's this? Oh, look. Look, here's your new mum and dad. There you go.
For Olivia, she's made a full recovery. And her foster mum, Denise, has found the orphan a permanent home with Terry and Sven.
Oh, I'll miss her heaps. I will. She's such a lovely little dog. But she's ready to go.
We couldn't have wished for anything better.
Isn't that lovely? She's perfect, isn't she?
She's gorgeous.
And she loves you.
It is emotional. She's going to be the sunshine in our life.
Today I'm on the road to Yorkshire, one of the most beautiful places in Northern England, to meet an extraordinary teenager. This passionate animal activist is taking on some of the biggest names in business and winning. And today I'm going to lend a hand with the amazing work she does.
Hello, girls.
From her home in Sheffield, 170 miles north of London, 15-year-old Lucy Gavahan has managed to shoot to fame with a remarkable campaign.
Good girl, come on.
This teenager's mission is to stop the practice of hens being kept in small cages for commercial egg production and make sure they lead a free-range life like these lucky girls.
The hens really need a voice because they can't talk, they can't ask not to be caged. And the public can't see them in the cages because they can't see the farms. All they see is a box of eggs on a shelf. And if a dog was in a cage, there would be uproar.
In an incredible coup this year, Lucy managed to convince several of the UK's biggest supermarkets to gradually phase out the sale of caged hen eggs.
That was such amazing news to hear. So that's why I'm now petitioning the government to try and end caged hen farming as a whole.
Hi there, Lucy.
Hello.
How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good, thank you.
Hello, and who's this beautiful little girl?
This is Fern, and this is Sylvia.
Hello, Sylvia. You're looking very healthy. I'm going to let you in on a little cultural secret. As in Australia, we actually call them chooks.
Oh.
So, yeah, if I use the word chook, then don't look at me funny. But one thing I always love is the fact that chicken lovers tend to call them girls, don't they? Like they're girls.
Yes,
like,
they are girls.
Part of the girl power, part of the team.
Absolutely.
For her part, Lucy has adopted 6 rescue chickens and is hoping her campaign will encourage thousands of people to do the same.
Actually today, Phoenix Hen Rescue, where all these girls came from, they're having an intake of 40 rescue hens.
Wow, 40?
40. So if you wouldn't mind, it would be amazing if you would come and health check them and make sure they're all well on their way to a happy new life.
Oh, I'd love to. Sylvia, you going to come? It's... Oh.
Sorry. Sorry about that. Oh.
Made me very wet.
And she's still going.
Hey.
Oh, that's not what you want.
Let's go and rescue some of your mates, shall we? Sounds good.
So Scott and Lucy are now heading 12 miles down the road to Chesterfield to meet another animal activist, Kitty.
Hi.
She's asked Scott to carry out health checks on a huge new batch of rescue hens that are due to arrive today.
Hello, hi, I'm Scott. How are you?
Hi, Scott, I'm fine, thank you.
I hear we're welcoming 40 little girls.
It's actually more. We've managed to rescue 58.
Wow.
Right at the last minute.
Oh my goodness.
They're here, the girls are arriving.
It's such a perfect day for the hens to arrive. They've never seen the sun before, they've never felt the grass or been able to scratch around. So it's so perfect for them to come out on a day like this where the sun is shining and they can just have the best experience they can do and a really nice welcome into the real world.
Oh, hello, girls, hello.
Well, they're certainly not looking anywhere near as healthy as yours, Lucy, are they?
No, but they'll get there. They will.
This is the first step towards their freedom.
Absolutely.
Hey.
They're out now.
Let's start with liberation from the van, shall we? Come on, girls.
All these ex-cage hens were destined to be killed after they had stopped laying their daily quota of eggs.
These girls shouldn't go to slaughter. They have the ability to live a natural life, and why shouldn't they? That's the lucky last of the girls. And someone's laid.
Oh, really? Look.
First freedom egg at your end of the crate there.
Nice. Oh, that's got a good ring to it, actually. Freedom egg.
It's a freedom
I like
egg.
it, yes.
It certainly is.
Free chickens.
Free chickens and a first freedom egg.
One of the common things is bumblefoot, which is the bacterial condition they get through the injuries, and I assume they get the injuries because of the fact they're standing on caged wire.
Yeah, it's just wire, yeah.
It's incredible to think that this is the first sunlight that they've ever had on their little faces. This is heartbreaking. I'm taking hen after hen out of the box, and they're in such a bad way. Pale combs, feathers missing, emaciated. When you're feeling their breastbone, the keel bone here, hers is so sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to feed you up, don't we? Yes, we do. There you go. Oh dear, you're a bit worse for wear, aren't you, sweetheart? Wow, that's a very bald bird, isn't it?
Yeah, they get quite bored in the cages. Obviously, there's nothing for them to do. There's nowhere for them to scratch, to get out of the way of other girls. So they pluck feathers.
Of course.
And, you know,
From themselves and from each other.
And from each other, yes.
To see these animals firsthand and to see the state that they're in, it is really upsetting. But I think it strengthens the resolve of people like Lucy and people like me to try and make the UK free of any egg that isn't laid happily and naturally in a normal environment. Last one, okay? There's your pedicure done. Yeah?
Come on, sweetheart.
The good news today is that with proper nutrition and care, all 58 of these hens are going to enjoy a happy retirement.
This is their new beginning. With a little bit of time to heal, these beautiful girls will be able to go off to their new loving forever homes.
Oh, look at those, Georgie.
Lots of very nice chickens in here, or chooks as I like to call them.
Already, 5-year-old Georgie has arrived with her Aunt Chrissy to take home 6 of the hens.
Oh, who's that one? What should we call her?
William.
William? We can't call her William. She's a girl.
What about Billy?
Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina.
Seeing the hens being rehomed is probably the best moment of it.
Don't tip my lovely chickens over, mister.
I won't.
Because that's when the hens are really on their way to their new life. And you know from that point on that that hen has a safe, secure future. And that's really brilliant to know.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so let's get everything set up.
In Melbourne, Dr. Danny Dusek is joining a team of volunteers at Pets in the Park, a charity vet service dedicated to the animals of people who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless.
Pets in the Park is everything that I signed up to vet for. I've always been obsessed with animals my whole life. And I got into veterinary science because I saw a homeless man with his dog and I desperately wanted to help and I could do nothing. And it really just sparked this desperation in me to be able to get some skills and help these people. So I love it.
Danny and vet nurse Serena's first patient of the day is 7-year-old Pitsy, much-loved companion of owner Mary.
How's little Pitsy going at the moment?
She's not doing too bad. She's here only for a checkup.
Wonderful. Hello, darling. Well, we're a bit nervous now. We'll just have a little listen to your heart, my love.
At Pets in the Park, vets provide medical and dental checkups, as well as vaccinations, antibiotics, and flea and worm treatments. Today, Pitsy is getting the works.
She's a good girl.
She certainly is.
Yeah. Pitsy, she's my darling. She's my little girl. She's such a part of my family. I don't know what my life would be without her.
So the heart and lungs sound good, so we have no concerns there today, which is great. Now just have a little look in that mouth. Yeah, so we've got a bit of calculus build-up. Pitsy's doing really well, actually. She's got a little bit of dental disease, but not too bad considering her age. So she is down on our notes that she's going to need a dental at some point,
Yep.
okay?
Yes.
Mary is an absolute sweetheart. You can see in her eyes the love and care that she has for little Pitsy. They've just got such a beautiful bond. It's tablet time, so I don't know how she'll be with the parasite control. I have got one tablet that I will maybe pop down her throat if you're happy.
Yes,
is that okay?
you should do.
All
Yes.
right.
She knows she has to swallow the tablet. She doesn't love them, that's for sure, but she has to have them.
Pitsy is a little bit of a nervous Nelly, so we'll just take it nice and slow. You ready? I know, it's a big one. Down you pop.
Yep.
Well done.
Well done.
Oh, you were
Well
very
done.
brave. She was actually really good. So that was good result. You were so brave.
It's been great knowing the Pets in the Park. She's been looked after for the last 6 months. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to afford the medication, and I'm very fortunate to have this chance in my life. Hey, you've been good.
Danny's next patient is much bigger than little Pitsy.
We won't get him up on the table, he's too heavy.
That's a good call.
Shane is next with his 2 dogs, 10-year-old Labrador Amy and 2-year-old German Shepherd Kane.
Hi, Kane, aren't you beautiful? How's he been going?
He is perfect. I just brought him in for a checkup.
So he's had good appetite,
Oh,
he's happy
yeah.
in himself.
Yeah, he runs, I take him for a swim.
Oh, you lucky boy, hey? Well, let's check you over then, mate. Make sure there's nothing going on. Have a little look in these ears. Oh, excuse you.
Kane's like a teenager, he just mucks around. He goes everywhere with me, he sleeps on the bed if he wants to. Yeah, they're my life. And these people, they look after him really well.
All right, mate. Now we'll have a little listen to your ticker. Good boy. Shane's a real character, this big heart. Kane is full of beans and he's all about Dad. You can just see that they love each other so much. He's clearly very fit. Shane is doing everything to keep Kane in great shape. Oh, done, mister. Good boy.
Are you happy? It's fit as a fiddle. You'll probably outlast me.
Next is Shane's other dog.
Come on.
Labrador Amy.
Sit.
Hello, Amy Gill. Hi.
She's just over 10 years old.
Oh, you're a wise soul, aren't you, sweetheart? How's she been?
Well, she was 47 kilos last year.
Yep.
I don't know what she is now, but she's
Yep.
nowhere near it.
Okay.
She's lost a hell of a lot of weight. Put her on a diet.
You've been, oh, wonderful. Being overweight, technically obese, you can end up with lots of issues, including a decreased lifespan. So it really is important that we get her weight back under control. Have you had any lameness with her, any limping?
Yeah.
Yeah?
This one.
The front left one. Okay, we might actually have a look at how she's walking today.
Come on.
Okay, I'm just gonna have a feel of this front left leg then, if that's been the one that you've noticed that's bothering her. I suspect most likely it's the elbow, and it is really common in Labradors. Unfortunately, she's likely to end up with arthritis in that joint.
That's why I'm trying to get the weight right off her.
That'll help take the pressure off the joint. Certainly we don't want that getting any worse. Carrying all that extra weight is putting so much pressure through her joints that that's speeding up that process of osteoarthritis. So I'm just going to give Amy an injection, so that's just going to help with her sore elbow. It's going to give her some anti-inflammatory effects, so that'll help her, keep her a bit more comfortable.
My long term is just get as much weight off her as I can. Yeah, I've got to do what I can for her. You just got to look after them and do the right thing. It's all right.
All right, so a little pinch. Ready?
Yeah,
One, two,
she's
three.
all right with the needle.
Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Hopefully when Shane returns with Amy, we're a little bit more slender and hopefully she's a bit more comfortable in those joints now that we've started some medication for that.
All right, not a problem.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Beautiful. At the end of the day, at Pets in the Park, it just makes you feel so lucky that you have the skills that you can actually help these people and their pets. It's a feel-good thing. I love it. Good job. Hi, I'm Dr. Danny Busek. If you love our show and want to see more amazing stories from the Bondi Vet team, just hit the subscribe button. Click that little notification bell and we'll see you for our next video.